The Detroit Safety Team grew out of the Allied Media Conference. Myself and Joe Boachi were asked to coordinate safety for the conference some years ago. And over the course of 3 years, we were able to train about 30 folks in supporting people and navigating conflict and harm for safety for the conference. The last year that we did it, we were doing a debrief. Joe and I were like, what if we could do this all over Detroit? It felt like a whisper into the universe, honestly, because Detroit is huge. Where do we start? What does this mean? Like, we almost didn't make it from a weekend of a conference. We had to rest for a week after that. We're like, okay, well, let's try to figure it out. We want people to be able to have that power for themselves. And so that means having skills. So being able to de-escalate, being able to intervene in a moment of crisis, thinking about protocols, being able to do pod mapping, things like that. And so we started a 2-year fellowship. The first year is a series of trainings. One of the trainings is a de-escalation training so that folks are able to recognize what does escalating behavior look like? And then what are the steps to de-escalating that behavior? And at the base of that being we want to still be in community with one another.
When we talked in the room about separating people and getting them away from each other, 9 times out of 10, you won't physically have to put your hands on anybody. It can be just that easy if we're utilizing all of those tools, right? Creating that eye contact, turning the other person with your energy, and then continuing to walk as we're having conversation. We are going to want to partner and walk with people as we're talking to them, right? And if we can get them down from that destructive place into something a little bit closer to agitation, agitation is still a great point of entry to be able to get them down to green. Right? Does that make sense?
My name's 1241. I am in the 2024, 2026 fellowship cohort. The first year is delicious trainings, so many beautiful trainings. And then the next year, we will be shadowing people as they facilitate spaces and do certain offerings for the community, as well as planning to offer a space of our own. We have access to past fellows to talk with folks and build community that way, and are also called in to help if there's any sort of events where they need safety team support. So there's more on the grounds training as well. It's a beautiful place to unlearn all the bullshit that keeps us separate from each other, and to be able to dive in and explore this whole world of care that we're blocked off from in the larger capitalist society. We do a lot of role playing in our trainings of, okay, let's talk about this conflict and these people are working through this thing. How do we hold this space and move through this? And I find it each time I'm working through these practices, I'm moving a little smoother. I'm checking, I didn't ask these questions. This could have been a better question to ask. I'm refining my practice, and I'm refining the ways that I can move through and ground in this space. I feel I even see it overflow into my interpersonal relationships, where I'm more apt to take a pause and really assess what's my needs, what this person's needs, and what are our collective needs and responsibilities here. And I don't think that's something that we get a lot of, and I think that's something that everyone will benefit from, of just practicing through conflict together, practicing through navigating confusion on low level, low stakes shit, so that we don't need to, it's not our first time when we're in an emergency. It's important for communities to have these skills so we can take care of ourselves, and to remove the paternalization of care, where oh, this is happening, I need someone else to take care of this for me. But no, I'm well equipped. I have the tools and resources that I need, or if I don't, collectively, we have them together. So we can figure this out. We might not have all of the answers, but we're learning together.
Man, where do you want greens?
Greens by the sink. Put those in there now.
Probably come to this side.
Yeah.
Is there more stuff?
Yeah.
All right.
I think Black food comes from Black hands. And so that might mean it's someone that's like French trained, that lean into using like diasporic produce or spices. I think sometimes Black food is only thought of as like soul food, which, you know, soul food is wonderful. It's like, it's soul and it's joy and it's love and it's people coming together to eat with one another and like celebrate each other. But also like Black food is spiritual. Black food is not wasteful. My name is Curtis Renee. I use they, them pronouns. I am a chef in training, a organizer, and a restorative justice practitioner. My father was a part of the Black Panther Party Detroit chapter, and he actually started the free breakfast program here in Detroit. Baba is all politics. He's all political all the time. And so even just having a conversation with someone on the street, like that is him organizing, like he's always organizing. And that is the thing that stood out for me, like growing up, like that is the person that he's always like shown up to be. And so activism has just always been a part of my life. So we have collards. They're locally grown in Detroit. I picked them up yesterday. Something I love about collards during this time of the year is once it starts getting cold, they get sweeter. When we're thinking about collards, there's this large conversation about how do we cook collards,
Yeah.
and how do we traditionally cook collards as like Black people, and this other conversation about like, well, you shouldn't cook your collards that way because it's not good for you.
You're talking about when we use, whether it's with turkey neck or ham hock, and they're cooked down really.
Right.
Right.
And so a lot of times people leave out that when you're cooking your collards down, my favorite thing about cooking collards down is pot liquor. So pot liquor is like liquid gold broth that comes from the collards when you cook them down.
All that like juice
All
at
that
the bottom.
juice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so traditionally folks would like have their collards in a small little bowl with the pot liquor in it, and they're like dipping and sopping.
Yeah.
And so I really like being able to have that conversation about collards and how we cook them traditionally, and also like, you know, what are new ways to cook them, but also like how do we pay like respect to how we've like traditionally cooked collards.
And it also feels like when we start talking about demonizing, whenever you start talking about demonizing a part of somebody's culture, you're demonizing those people.
Right.
Right? So it feels like somebody's saying, oh, well, collards aren't healthy or you shouldn't eat them, or like this food didn't come from black people and black food traditions aren't viable. That there's a maybe not so subtle demonization of us at the same time.
Right, and so we're talking about racism, we're talking about anti-blackness.
Yeah.
We're talking about like access to food. And so like we're having this conversation about not being able to find, I had to order this online.
Right.
To get this.
Right.
So I don't have access to this rice anywhere in the city of Detroit, in the Detroit metro area.
So wanting to cook this food in a way that is honoring of tradition, right? That is also healthy, that is like nourishing for like you as a physical human being, but also a spiritual human being.
Right.
When you can't get access to those ingredients, that's like one extra layer systemically, right? Of erasure and oppression.
Right, and
for me, food is safety. To know that where my meal is gonna come from. It feels safe, it feels warm, it feels like someone cares for me and someone loves me. Having conversations about like, what does it mean to have access to food? What does it mean to have culturally like relevant access to food? And so I live in the Jefferson Chalmers area, and maybe like 4 years ago, the grocery store that's in walking distance moved outside of walking distance, which means like, oh, you have to catch a bus, you have to walk or get an Uber or ride your bike. And that doesn't also take into consideration like if you have children or just like all of these other things that come into context when we're talking about just getting to the grocery store. Nothing else in life, just the grocery store. As we were thinking about food and what we would like, what kind of programming we would like to have around food with BLM, I reached out to Ashley with KGD and was like, hey, what can we do together? The first year we delivered 30 CSA boxes. People got a box every other week between July and November, and then a holiday box, which is my favorite box. So many wonderful, great things are in it. Last year we did 30 boxes and 70 gift cards with $300 on them, and it also gave folks access to buying at the Eastern Market and things like that. And so, yeah, I feel like over the past 4 years, it's been a journey with this program. But it's been a journey, and it's been great to be able to have conversations with people in the neighborhood about food. Like when I do the door knocking, like people are like, okay, so what is the CSA? And where does this food come from? This food is grown in Detroit? What do you mean? Seriously? And then like when people are dropping off boxes, when I'm helping dropping off boxes, like folks being like, oh my God, this produce is so great. Like, I can't believe the stuff that like goes into these boxes. Like, thank you so much. And so it's been a really exciting program. I would say food sovereignty is the ability to have control over your food system. And so that looks like, for Black people, like Black people being at the center of that. And that means it's affordable. You don't have to travel far to get it. It's food that's culturally relevant to your body. It's food that is like joyful. It's food that's grown with care. And our communities are at the center of like having that conversation and like growing it. I think for all the reasons we're talking about like food sovereignty, It's important for like Black people, Indigenous people, Latinx people, like all of us to have like agency around the food that we're consuming. And that starts with having access. That starts with conversation. I think, we're all a part of like reimagining this and creating something new and being in practice of self-governance. Whether it's supporting financially or with volunteering, that makes you a part of like that reimagining like process.
Are you proud of the work that you do?
I am. I'm really proud of the work that we do at BLM Detroit. People generally ask me like definitely more than once. Like, so it's free? It's free, right? That's what you're saying. Do I have to fill out something?